Tuesday afternoon rematch here at Cotuit Park. Game 3 of the Patriot Cup. Kettleers, Harbor Hawks getting ready for a 6 p.m. first pitch. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill here with you in the broadcast booth. And Lincoln, the Harbor Hawks coming off a tough loss last night, 13-5 in Cotuit. What do we have to do to bounce back tonight?
Yeah, really, we just have to improve on both sides of the ball here tonight. Batting-wise, we were slow to get hits in last night's game. We didn't really start getting hits until later on in the game, so we really just need to come out swinging at the very beginning of the game, get runners on base all throughout. On the mound, on the other hand, we have to limit our walks, limit the amount of runners that we allow on base, and really just shut down on the mound and at the plate.
On the hill tonight for the Harbor Hawks is Andrew Baker, a right-hander from Chipola College, and he started the game that was rained out against Brewster Lincoln, but he was pretty effective in that game. What are we looking for tonight from the righty? Yeah,
you were right. He was very effective in that game against Brewster. He had a lot of speed, a lot of difference in his speeds on those breaking balls and fastballs, and really he just had a great outing in that game. I'm looking forward to another pretty sturdy outing from Baker here tonight, and really just looking to see him improve.
And one of the keys to success for the Harbor Hawks has been the bullpen. And our sideline reporter, Taylor Farmer, caught up with Cooper McKeon before the game. Let's send it down to Taylor.
Taylor Farmer here with Cooper McKeon. Cooper, a couple of solid innings you had last night coming out of the bullpen. What's been Coach Corn and Coach Johnson's message to the pitchers?
Just to attack the batters, and if you get a runner on, don't worry about it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be the batter that can put them in. So if you can just put them away and attack them, good things will happen.
Now, waiting in the bullpen, what are you guys doing actively to make sure that you're ready to go?
Honestly, just keeping it loose in the bullpen, not getting too tense, and just being ready when your time comes, like making sure you're all stretched out and ready to go. But honestly, we keep good vibes in the bullpen, and it's a great time out there.
Now, Cotuit was swinging the bat well last night. How do you guys as a pitching group make sure that you're getting good ball movement and keeping your pitch location in control?
I think it just all comes from preparation and just before the game with your throwing and your catch play and all that. And in the pen, just kind of getting locked in, because at the end of the day, once you're on the mound, you just got to be focused on one pitch at a time and not the results. So I think doing that and being prepared is going to help you.
Right. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
Here at McKeon Park, alongside Cooper McKeon, I'm Taylor Farmer, Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
That's Katie Sanborn, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Katie. And finally, for those two
as we await the first pitch here from Judy Walden Scare File Field at McKeon Park, Lincoln. Another beautiful night for baseball. A string of blue skies and perfect weather, as it looks like we've moved past the overcast for the time being, and looking for the Harbor Hawks to snap a losing skid that has now spanned 5 games.
Yeah, really the only thing that this team has to be worried about now is getting that win, especially against Cotuit. And Cotuit, the only team that we have actually had a win against so far this season, and so what a better team to get that second win against, the team that we know that we can beat. We can beat any team here so far. It's just a matter of putting those hits together, getting those runs across.
And taking a look at the starting lineups, first for the visiting Cotuit Ketteleers, who will lead us off. Lincoln, what is the Kettleer lineup looking like tonight?
Yeah, so leading off, we're going to have Cole Cummings playing at third base, R.J. Schreck batting in the 2-hole, playing in right field, followed by Dylan Beavers, the center fielder. Brett Roberts, the designated hitter, who went 3 for 5 last night. He had quite a big outing there last night against the Harbor Hawks. He'll be in the DH spot, batting the cleanup. Ben Rice playing in the 5-hole. He'll be playing catcher tonight, followed by Luke Gold. Nathan Martorella, the first baseman, in the 7-hole, followed by John Rhodes. And then Eric Brown batting in the 9-hole for the Kettleers, and on the mound is going to be Jake Brooks on the mound for the Kettleers tonight.
Should be a good one, Lincoln. The Kettleers getting ready to lead it off, and let's take a look at the Harbor Hawk lineup as Caden Rose back in the leadoff spot, playing right field today. Batting in the 2-hole per usual is Kyle Ball, the shortstop. Batting third is Luke Mann. He'll get in the lineup today at third base. Batting fourth is the cleanup hitter and the designated hitter, Zane Harris. Batting 5 is Mitch Harrigan, the left fielder. Batting 6, Mason Greer. He'll be at first base. Batting 7, Dom Johnson back in center field. Batting 8th is Dylan Post. He'll get the catching start tonight. And batting 9 is Ryan Romano, the second baseman, making his third start of the season. Romano, 2 for 5 on the year with 2 RBI. Made some solid contact in both his starts. Excited to see what he can do at the second base spot.
Yeah, sorry about that. Romano's just been electric so far in his first couple of outings, and looking forward to seeing what he can do for us here tonight.
First pitch just moments away as the right-hander Andrew Baker gets ready to finish off his warm-up tosses, Lincoln. And for Baker, this is the first official start due to the rain out, and he'll get to work on some stats here finally, as the first game stats don't count due to the cancellation. So get to record his first official Cape Cod League stats tonight.
Yeah, thankfully tonight we have blue skies, some cotton candy looking clouds out above the left center field gap, and really just a beautiful day for baseball tonight.
Cole Cummings, third baseman, stands in to lead it off as Baker fires a ball up in the zone for the first pitch of the night.
Baker, as we talked about earlier, just a lot of speed, bringing that fastball in the high 90s. We've seen it touch 98 a couple times, especially in that game against Brewster. And then that breaking ball, on the other hand, with about 10 to 12 miles an hour of difference between those two pitches.
And Cummings was 2 for 4 last night with a walk as well. 3 runs scored, 2 stolen bases in a night that filled the stat sheet for many of the Kettleers. A few of those guys back in the lineup tonight with Cummings, Schreck, and Beavers set to dig in to start the game, as Andrew Baker is behind 3-0 to the leadoff man and misses with ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk to lead it off. And Lincoln, the walks are something that have been a massive issue for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, in the past couple of games, we've had way too many walks. Over 5 walks for any team will most likely be catastrophic, or at least really put a damper in your game. And the Harbor Hawks have walked batters aplenty over the past couple of games.
That'll bring in R.J. Schreck, the right fielder. He had a 2-run home run in last night's contest, a moonshot to right field. The dimensions of Judy Walden Scarefile Field, 321 to Greeks Pole and right, 390 to dead center behind Dom Johnson, and 318 down the left field line in the only shady part of the field.
Yeah, like you said, Schreck already with a home run in last night's game, and then Judy Walden Scarefile Field. Definitely, home runs are not an unusual sight on this field, especially this season.
And especially to right field, too, with Schreck digging in from the left side, Lincoln, the flag blowing out to right field as well, so that if you get that ball up in the wind stream. We've seen Poolhose and Zane Harris homer to right, and as that pickoff move by Baker, the ball's thrown away towards the Kettleer bullpen. Cummings is going to second. He's just going to keep on running to third. The throw from right field comes in to post the catcher, and Cole Cummings advances to third on a pickoff move gone wrong.
Yeah, and we had a few big mistakes in last night's game, and the mistakes moving into tonight's game, as it seems, as that throw just got away from Greer over at first.
And an early mound visit coming from pitching coach Ray Korn, as Andrew Baker has started the ball game with 6 straight balls, and not the start you were envisioning for Harbor Hawks, as last night they were down early 6-0 after 2. 2 nights in a row they were down 6-0 after 2, and now in this ball game the leadoff man is on third with nobody out, and the 2-hitter at the dish.
Yeah, the trouble has not stopped, as it seems, and we were hoping, I feel like both of us, everybody here really was hoping that the pitching would solidify and sort of calm down a little bit, but the trouble just keeps on going on for the Harbor Hawks.
2-0 the count as Schreck digs in. The 2-0, outside ball 3, so it's 7 straight balls to start the ball game.
And Austin, as you mentioned, that flag blowing out towards right field. Wind coming in at 18 miles an hour out of the southwest, a very windy day, only 82 degrees here in Barnstable, though. It's a hot 82 at that.
It is. I'm sure the real feel is up towards 90, and it's a walk on 4 pitches to Schreck. So runners on the corners now with nobody out. That'll bring in Dylan Beavers, center fielder tonight.
Baker still looking for that first strike here, and at this point in the game, the end of this half inning seems kind of far away for this Harbor Hawk team.
Here comes Beavers, the 6'4" outfielder. He takes a strike. 0-1 the count, Lincoln. This is game 3 of the Patriot Cup between the Kettleers and the Harbor Hawks. And Hyannis took game 1, their only win on the season last week, but a week ago from today, with a 7-4 victory over the Kettleers. And then last night in game 2 of the Patriot Cup, the Harbor Hawks dropped a 13-5 loss to the same Kettleer team.
Yeah, just a complete 180, game 1 to game 2. The Harbor Hawks looked very solid in that game 1. And last night, just couldn't put hits together, couldn't keep runners off base for the Kettleers.
Baker ahead in the count now, 1-2.
Enough to where the Beavers, that is, didn't want to swing at it, but it was not where you would want it to be.
Long pause from Baker, the 2-2. Cut on and missed. A fastball out of the zone for out number 1, and an important out number 1 at that.
And now with 1 away, the Harbor Hawks have a chance at a double play, especially with Schreck still over at first. As long as we can keep him over at first base, a double play to end the inning here would be a massive break for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the first.
In steps Brett Roberts, the DH. He just recently transferred to FSU from Tennessee Tech University. A middle infielder. In 2021, he hit .343 with 5 homers and 39 RBI. Has continued that success early here in the Cape League, and he's ahead 1-0 in the count, and he goes down and tries to get a fastball, but can't catch up with it. The count is 1-1 now to Roberts. Yeah,
Austin, you were saying that Roberts had some success in this season, and especially in last night's game, going 3 for 5. And in that 3 for 5 night, he ended with 3 singles, a flyout, and a flyout and a ground out, and he reached home at one point in that night as well.
Roberts reaches for that one and taps it foul. The count will move to 1-2. The runner, Schreck at first, was off on the pitch, so he'll have to retreat to the first base bag and try again. We saw a plethora of stolen bases last night in Cotuit. Harbor Hawks pitching had trouble holding runners on.
Yeah, over the last couple of nights, we've seen many stolen bases, and especially against the Commodores, we had a couple of players for the Commodores that were just leaning towards second base before the pitch, and you could tell that they were just going to head on to second before the pitch even came in.
The 1-2, a nasty breaking pitch in the dirt, gets Roberts swinging for out number 2, and Andrew Baker, after walking the first 2 batters on 8 straight balls, has now struck out the next 2.
Yeah, he seems to have found his groove here, allowing 2 runners on base and then striking out the next 2. Just 2 great outs there for Baker, and now we have a chance for that third out here to end the inning, and leaving a runner stranded on third, which would be great to stop a run from coming in here in the first.
Ben Rice, the catcher, digs in. And he's a dangerous hitter at the plate. He's batting .333 on the year, 6 for 18, a pair of doubles, and 6 RBI in addition to 5 walks. A full line for Rice. The 1-0 to Rice. Misses outside, tried to come with an off-speed pitch, but Rice wasn't fishing. 2-0.
Yeah, Rice coming from Dartmouth, the senior. didn't play this season. I believe Dartmouth is part of the Ivy League, is it not?
They are.
Yeah, so the Ivy League, as we know, canceled their conference season, so none of the teams in the Ivy League ended up getting to play.
And that ball goes off the glove of post to the backstop, but a late break for Cummings means he's going to have to go back to third. Shrek does advance from first to second, so that puts runners on second and third with 2 away.
You know, against that game, with that game a couple nights ago against the Falmouth Commodores, that game ended on a drop third strike that actually went to the backstop, and because of the bricks, it bounced right back to the Commodore catcher, who then threw it down to first to end the game and stop a late Harbor Hawks rally. And really, that one coming in our favor now, as that kept a run from scoring over at third.
The brick backstop coming back to help Hyannis as Baker fires in a fastball for strike one, and the count moves to 3-1 to Rice. Luke Gold on deck, a dangerous hitter in himself, so Baker would like to get out of this inning here. From the stretch, the 3-1 awaits. The windup and the pitch. Ball 4. It's a walk, and the third walk issued in the inning by Andrew Baker, which loads the bases for a guy swinging a very hot bat to start the year in Luke Gold. Gold has 3 homers coming into the game on the season. A 6-foot infielder from Boston College. 8 RBI to go along with those 3 homers, and he's slugging .375 average on the year. So Luke Gold, a very dangerous hitter. Baker's going to have to be very careful with this at-bat. First pitch off speed pitch misses outside for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, last night, Gold finished 1 for 2 in his shortened. Excuse me, that was 1 for 2 in his shortened appearance, as he had 3 at-bats in his first 4 innings of play. Only lasted 5. Ended up with an RBI single and a strikeout in that span, along with a walk.
He gets the call in the outside corner. The count moves to 1-1. Looking at the Harbor Hawk defense, it's Dylan Post behind the plate tonight for Baker on the mound. Mason Greer at first, Ryan Romano at second. Kyle Ball at short and Luke Mann at third. The outfield, Hardigan in left, Johnson in center. As that one gets away, Cummings breaks for the plate. The throw is now in time, and that's the first run of the game for the Kettleers, who jump out to a 1-0 lead over the Harbor Hawks. And it's the walks again, Lincoln. As Cummings gets on a walk, gets over to second on an error, over to third on an error after the throw from Baker on a pickoff move, but it wouldn't have mattered because he walked 2 more, which loaded the bases anyway. And the pass ball wild pitch, call it what you want, it gets to the backstop and gets a run in.
Yeah, not the bounce that we would have wanted after that one a couple of pitches ago.
That one's hit well to left center. Dominic Johnson's after, but it's going to fall for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes Ben Rice. And it's a 2 RBI single off the bat of Luke Gold. And the Harbor Hawks are chasing 3 early.
Yeah, not a good start for the Harbor Hawks, as we've seen in the past couple of games. Already allowing 3 runs off of only 1 hit, as we've walked 3 so far. And we saw some light at the end of the tunnel after striking out 2 in a row, but since then, we've had trouble finding that third out.
Sizable lead at first for Gold. Martorella stands in for the first time. That's Nathan Martorella at the dish, first baseman / designated hitter in the lineup at first tonight. He came in halfway through last night's ball game over at first.
Yeah, Martorella actually coming in for Rice, if I'm not mistaken. No, he came in for Gold and ended 1 for 1. Ended up being hit by a pitch in the 5th and then hitting a single back in the 7th. His time on base was short-lived, as the next batter, that was Andy Garriola, went down looking to end the inning.
Looking to replicate his personal success from last night with a runner on first and 2 away. He takes ball 3. The control has been an issue in the inning for Andrew Baker. 3 walks already, 3 runs home, a single that drove in 2 by Luke Gold, and now Nathan Martorella is ahead 3-0. Pause from Baker and the pitch. That comes high and inside for ball 4. The 4th walk issued in the inning by Baker puts a runner on first and second now with 2 away.
And very early in this game, we already have some action in the Harbor Hawk bullpen, and it's understandable to see some action in the bullpen after Baker's already walked 4. As we've seen, he has speed, but he's having a little trouble controlling that ball right now. I know the scouts love to see that speed from him, but he is having some trouble controlling his pitches right now.
With 2 away, that brings in John Rhodes.
Let's see here in the bullpen right now.
Excuse me, that's not John Rhodes of the dish. That's Andy Garriola. Rhodes was in the original starting lineup. It appears things have changed for the Kettleers. So Garriola digs in for the first time. Lincoln, who's in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks?
That is going to be Evan Webster back on the bump. Webster from the University of Louisville.
See if Baker can work his way out of trouble here in inning number 1. The 1-0. Misses high. It's off the glove of post again. That's going to allow the runners to move up to second and third with 2 away still in the inning. Garriola digging in, looking to add on to this early Cotuit lead. They got 5 in the first last night. The second consecutive night a team has gotten 5 in the first against the Harbor Hawks after the Commodores did it on Sunday.
Yeah, both of those games where they allowed 5 runs in the first, the next inning, in both games they allowed another run in the second.
Well, let's hope the Harbor Hawks don't try for the trifecta.
Would be very unfortunate indeed.
The 2-1 from Baker. Goes down to try to get the off-speed pitch, but can't connect. It's 2-2 the count. The off-speed's been working for him. It's been the fastball we've seen a lot of issues locating early on, Lincoln.
Yeah, we have a lot of location troubles, and that we've seen that actually throughout the season. Lots of trouble with location, as a lot of times with walks.
Garriola strikes out swinging to end the inning. His bat goes flying. Baker gets out of the inning and strands 2, but 3 runs come across. Hyannis has work to do, chasing 3 early on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the first inning. Harbor Hawks chasing 3 early. The right fielder from Alabama, Caden Rose, wants to get on to lead things off, as it's Jake Brooks on the mound for the Kettleers. Brooks making his 3rd appearance on the year. 5 1/3 innings so far, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. A tough pitcher to crack early on.
Yeah, out of 2 appearances so far on the season, he has a 1-0 record, 1 win on the season. The sophomore from UCLA.
The 0-1 to Rose. He checks his swing, but it didn't play down the first base line. Martorella will pick up and step on the bag for out number 1, as I don't think Rose wanted to put that in play, but unfortunately for him, he made contact.
No, yeah, that has to be one of the worst feelings as a hitter. You're just, at first you want to swing, you hold your back because you're like, no, that's a bad pitch, and then it goes off of your bat anyway. That has to be an absolute terrible feeling and just bad luck there for Rose.
In steps the shortstop Kyle Ball from Stratham, New Hampshire, the Stetson College shortstop, as he takes a called strike. Ball growing up a all New England sports fan, Celtics, Red Sox, Bruins, Patriots, you name it. Playing his first season here in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the 0-1, as he pops it foul out of play.
A little bit of a late swing there from Ball as he sort of took a while bringing his hands through. He needs to really shorten up on that swing, bring his hands to the bat faster.
And this is not Ball's first summer playing for Gary Calhoun, as he was a part of the 2019 Keene Swamp Bats with Calhoun, as he lines that one to the right center field gap. That's going to get down for extra bases. Ball is on his way to second. A throw from right field by Schreck is cut off, and it's a double with 1 away for Kyle Ball, and the Harbor Hawks definitely needed that hit.
Yeah, and it's like Ball heard what I was saying on that last pitch. He had a long swing in that second strike and then ended up shortening his swing a little bit and ended up hitting it opposite field into that right center gap. Just an overall great hit there from Ball and a great start for the Harbor Hawks, who last night actually went down with 7 strikeouts in their first 9 hitters, and we've already started with a base hit here.
Moving in the right direction as Luke Mann digs in to take some cuts for the first time in the ballgame. He takes a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
And in last night's game, took us until that 3rd inning to get that first single. Mariano Ricciardi getting his 2nd hit of the year.
Luke Mann hitting .250 on the season, 4 for 16 at the dish. As he can't connect with an off-speed pitch on the outside part of the plate, he's down 0-2. For Kyle Ball, his first extra base hit on the season. He was 2 for 23 coming into the game with 6 walks, so got to feel good for Ball to get that double.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Mann over at 3rd for the Harbor Hawks tonight, as we've seen quite the highlight reel from Mann over at 3rd, especially with Greer playing on the other side of the corner at 1st.
Brooks will step off and look Ball back to 2nd. And Lincoln, the defense between Mann and Greer, whatever corner they're at, has been exceptional all season, especially Mann, who has just, as you mentioned, been the human highlight reel defensively.
Yeah, we saw a few SportsCenter plays from him against Harwich. We saw a couple more in the games past that.
Back up the middle, Brooks will flip on to Martorella at 1st for out number 2. A hard hit ball, but great reaction on the bump.
Yeah, there was no skill involved in that play. There might have been a teensy bit, but about 95% of that, I'd say, was all pure luck. And it was really just Brooks' glove being in the right place at exactly the right time.
That'll bring in Zane Harris. Gets the start tonight at DH. Harris's family's been in attendance at the last couple of games, so we welcome the Harris family from Ohio. Zane excited to have them here to see him this summer as he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1.
We've seen a home run from Harris this season, as you mentioned earlier. We've seen a few long home runs in BP, and we know he has a lot of power behind that bat, and we're hoping to see some from him here.
As he pops that one foul out of play, just a tick late on the fastball, and the umpire throws the ball back to the pitcher, and it sails into center field.
Yeah, that ball started to inch towards that inside part of the plate, and as we know, Harris can do some nasty things with the ball that he gets on the inside. He just got to that pitch a little bit too late.
Cooling off a bit here as we are into the Bottom of the first inning. It was very warm during batting practice, up near 88 degrees with a real feel of 95, so the players were definitely sweating earlier. They definitely are now, as the temperature hasn't dropped off that much. That misses for a ball, 1-2. Harris not chasing that off-speed pitch. So I'm getting in some extra tee work today in the batting cage, and followed up by batting practice as the team takes BP every day, home or away. Talking with a lot of the guys, Lincoln, they work out, 4 or 5 days a week in the morning, come to the ballpark, get some BP in, some extra hitting practice depending on how the previous night went. The 1-2 to Harris. This is outside, 2-2 the count, but it's a grind for these guys, and they've all made that very clear. They're not used to playing 6 games in a row. For many of them, it's 2 or 3 in a week at the college level, and a little bit different here.
Yeah, definitely. It's a whole different ball game, so to speak, in the Cape, and it can really take a toll on all of these players.
Count is even to Harris at 2-2 with 2 away. The pitch, and he can't connect on an off-speed pitch, so Harris goes down swinging. The Hawks strand him in at third. To end the inning, we will be back for the top of the second on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the top of the second inning, Andrew Baker back on the mound, Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill back in the booth. It's the 9-1-2 due up for the Kettleers as they sent 8 men to the plate in that first inning, which brought home 3 runs on just the 1 hit. Harbor Hawks got a hit from Kyle Ball in the bottom of the first, but he was left stranded.
Yeah, it's good to see. It's good to see Baker back on the plate, I will say. Looking for some redemption here after that first inning. See if he can.
The 1-0, a called strike on the outside corner. As mentioned earlier, this is the first official start on the season for Andrew Baker, but not the first start he made. You can watch that first start on our Harbor Hawks YouTube page against Brewster. The game was rained out, but we still have video footage in case you want to catch up on some Harbor Hawk baseball that you missed. And plenty of good content on the YouTube page. We have Taylor Farmer's From the Sideline interviews. We have our Hawk Talk pregame and postgame shows. All things Harbor Hawks on our YouTube page.
Be sure to go ahead and visit our podcast as well, the Birds the Word podcast. That's on all platforms where you can find podcasts. I actually found the first episode on Spotify. I went ahead and listened to it. It was very interesting. I mean, I was on it, but still very interesting.
Anywhere that you can find podcasts, we are there. And we got anything you need on the Harbor Hawks. Pre-game shows, post-game shows, podcasts, articles on our website. I mean, we got it all covered here.
Very official.
From the booth.
It's a very official media team that we have tonight, or this season.
Checked foul out of play, so we'll have to do it again. It's Brown, Cummings, Schreck. Pretty good crowd here tonight at McKeon Park. A few hundred fans in attendance, close to 1,000 probably, as the sun has peeked behind the left field bleachers down the third base line. The 3-2 from Baker. Fights off an inside off-speed pitch and hits it down toward the Harbor Hawk dugout. We'll have to hold again at 3-2. A good at-bat here. 7 pitches so far, the 8th upcoming.
Yeah, good battle here from Brown and Baker, see who can come out on top of this battle.
The action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen has halted for the moment. The 3-2 misses outside, ball 4. So Baker walks the leadoff man for the second consecutive inning. It's the 4th walk issued by the right-hander.
Yeah, that's the problem that we've seen quite a bit from this Harbor Hawks pitching staff. Just placing the ball in beautiful spots, just a little bit too outside, inside, up and down, just battling, just hitting all around the strike zone, but we can't get any in the strike zone.
The 5th walk of the night on Baker so far. Three runs, 1 hit for the Kettleers, no errors. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the 2nd. Cummings back at the dish for the 2nd time in the ball game. He walked and scored back in the 1st. Came home after a wild pitch, got him over to 3rd. And he came home on a wild pitch. Brown gets his lead from 1st. Pickoff move by Baker, gets away from Greer, and now Brown's going to advance to 2nd on a pickoff move in the dirt.
Now, something that we haven't seen a whole lot from Hyannis pitchers so far this season is pickoff moves. We've seen a few, but they haven't really been coming in big numbers, and I think the lack of pickoff moves so far this season is taking a toll on the pitchers.
The 1-0 inside to Cummings, ball 2 as action picks up once again in the Hyannis bullpen down the 3rd base line. Looks like it's still Evan Webster. Lincoln will confirm with the binoculars.
And it is Webster still, yes.
All right.
Good eyes out there. I have to use the binoculars to see who that is.
It's popped off towards Webster, warming up down the left field line. It's 2-1 the count. I kind of noticed the same tan glove. That's what I was going off on that. Assuming, because we determined Webster was up in the 1st. Didn't think they were going to change it up too much. The number's hard to see, especially with them being in the shade down there. Flag still blowing hard towards right center. That one's lined towards right center. Caden Rose is back on it, and he will make the catch on the run for out number 1. Brown's going to tag and head for 3rd. Thought about coming home, but picked up by Kyle Ball, and he'll stay 90 feet away from scoring the Kettleers' first run with 1 away.
And a good play there from Rose over in right, and he had a couple of battles to fight there as he fought the sun out there in right field, fought the terrible angle that line drive took, really, and just a great catch out there in right. Very difficult play, that is.
R.J. Schreck back up for the 2nd time in the game. Nice block by Dylan Post on a pitch in the dirt. 77 miles per hour on the off-speed pitch. Schreck walked in the 1st, came home to score. That's part of a 2 RBI single by Luke Gold.
Yeah, like you said, good stop there from Post. We've already seen a couple of pass balls, but good job getting a piece of his body in front of it as that rolled a little bit off to the side, but it wasn't far enough to where Brown could score.
Ball in the dirt, 2-0 the count. Now Lincoln, a good count here for Schreck to get a fastball and a pitch he can do a lot of damage of. Baker can't just hum one in belt high. He's going to have to still work on that location. 2-0 the count to R.J. Schreck, the Duke outfielder. Misses low for a ball, 3-0. So Baker in danger of walking his 6th batter of the ball game.
I will say, if we see that 6th walk, I think that might, I don't know. I'm not going to predict anything, but
well, I think you may be right with a left-hander on deck. 2 out of the next 3 are left-handers.
Oh, infield moved in now for the end of this at-bat.
Trying to not let the deficit grow any further from 3. The 3-1 in the dirt and blocked by Post. It's ball 4. So the 6th walk of the night now for Baker puts runners on the corners with 1 away.
And it looks like we will have a pitching change as manager Gary Calhoun going to head on out to the mound himself.
Calhoun signals to the bullpen. It's going to be Evan Webster, the left-hander, coming on to pitch for Andrew Baker. We'll be right back in just a moment on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. New pitcher on the mound for Hyannis, as mentioned. It's Evan Webster, the left-hander from Louisville. He's made one appearance on the season, allowed one unearned run and struck out 2 on just 1 hit. So he's been effective, Lincoln, in the 1 inning we've seen Webster. I have a feeling he may be asked to work more than 1 tonight as he comes on here in just the top of the 2nd inning with 1 away. It is a lefty-lefty matchup with Webster being real good on lefties. It's going to be tough for Dylan Beavers in this at-bat with the runners on the corners.
Beavers went 1 for 3 last night, 0 for 1 on the night so far in tonight's game.
Good movement on that off-speed pitch, but he started it too far out, so it broke further out for ball 1. The 1-0, inside, ball 2. 86 miles per hour. And on coming off a night where the Harbor Hawks allowed 16 hits to the Kettleers, they've only got 1, but the 3 runs are due in part to the 6 walks so far in the ballgame.
Yeah, less hits than we've seen so far in tonight's game, but definitely not less walks that we've seen.
Webster comes into the game, and he's behind 3-0 to Beavers and Lincoln. Red light or green light here? I assume
hard red light.
Yeah.
Hard red light.
I think that's a dark red light.
Yeah. If he swings at this, yeah, he didn't.
No chance he's going there.
No, if he would have swung at that, I would have taken him out right there, right then and there.
Now, are you in favor of guys like Yerman Mercedes at the MLB level swinging on 3-0 up 12, or are you one of the older get off my lawn type?
I will say I am a bit old-fashioned. If it was in a 12-0 lead and you were facing a position player pitching, then I would have gone and said, okay, go for it. Swing if you want.
Fly ball medium deep right, caught by Rose. The runner's going to tag and score, so it's a 4-0 ball game. But Hyannis does record out number 2 in the inning. The sac fly for Dylan Beavers brings home Brown. Now, see, I think I don't really have a problem swinging on 3-0. I mean, listen, you want to be competitive. Don't put a position player on the mound who's just going to throw lollipops.
Well, yeah, of course, but you have to remember they were up 12 runs. Like at that point, you don't want to risk an injury to a pitcher.
That is true.
Or just waste their arm whenever you have no hope of coming back, really.
But you can't get mad for a guy like Mercedes who gets paid, certain amounts of money. As that one's flown to center field to Johnson. He breaks in on it, makes a catch to end the inning. We'll pick back up in the bottom of the second. Hawks chasing 4. We'll be back in just a moment. Mitch Hardigan getting ready. Back here as Dominic Johnson digs in with 2 outs in the inning. Sorry for the minor technical difficulties we were having as we're back up and running, Lincoln. 2 outs in the inning. You missed a pop-up there by Mitchell Hardigan to lead things off. A ground out to first by Mason Greer, which brings up Dominic Johnson. Dom Johnson, the outfielder, getting the start in center field today. Ahead in the count 3-1. As Jake Brooks has been effective so far on the hill for the Kettleers.
And really, like you said, Austin Brooks has just been dominant on the mound tonight. Only allowed 1 hit so far. And that runner did reach third, but still big goose egg on the board for the Harbor Hawks so far.
Johnson grounds it to second. Picked on a hop. Throw to first is in time, and the Harbor Hawks go down in order. Top of the third coming at you. Hawks chasing 4. for the top of the third inning. Harbor Hawks looking to shut down the Kettleer offense that's got 4 runs across the plate so far on just 1 hit. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill with you in the booth. Taylor Farmer's on the sidelines. We'll hear from her in just a few moments. Evan Webster back on the hill for the Harbor Hawks for his second inning of work. He recorded 2 outs last inning. Allowed 1 run to come across, but it's not earned to him. It goes to Andrew Baker, the starter. Webster just looking to throw strikes here, Lincoln.
Yeah, and after having such a Webster looking to throw strikes, Baker actually with a great outing out against Brewster, I will say. It was disappointing that that one didn't count, as we ended up not going far enough and that one got canceled, and really just not the official first outing that you would have wanted from Webster, and I'm sure it wasn't the official outing that he wanted either.
He's ahead on the catcher, Ben Rice, 1-2, and gets him swinging. First strikeout of the night out of the bullpen for Evan Webster. Retires the leadoff man, and there's 1 away.
That was a great pitch outside, a little too low for the bat of Rice as he went down swinging. Just a great placement there from Webster for the first out.
In steps Luke Gold for the second time in the ballgame. He had a 2 RBI single back in the first inning. Brought his RBI total to 10 on the season. In game number 8 here for the Kettleers as he pops that one foul out of play. Cotuit came into the ballgame at 3-4. The Harbor Hawks came in at 1-6 in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, looking to avoid their 6th straight loss and their 2nd straight at the hands of the Kettleers. Ground ball weakly hit to the mound. Webster comes off, fields it, flip on to Greer at first, is in time, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, that was almost a scary play there, as Greer wanted to try to get that ball himself too, and then whenever Webster ended up fielding that one, there was nobody at first, and so Greer had to hustle over to first to be able to complete that play, and just a scary moment, but a second out nonetheless.
Nathan Martorella digs in for the second time, and he walked back in the first. 6 different Kettleers have walked in this ball game. As Martorella takes strike 1, and this is exactly what the Harbor Hawks need, is efficiency out of the bullpen, and Webster's providing them with just that, as he's recorded the first few batters that he's faced. Five in a row set down by, or 4 in a row, excuse me, by Webster. And he's ahead 1-2 on Martorella, looking to make it 5 in a row. Wind up and the pitch. Inside, 2-2 the count. He hit 90 on the fastball. It's a great movement on his breaking ball. A fastball that tails in. The 2-2. Outside on the breaking pitch. The count moves to full with 2 away. The full count. Popped foul over our heads here in the press booth. It goes off towards the parking lot, out of play. Full count again, as Martorella putting up a good fight here. 6 pitches into the at-bat. Pitch number 7 upcoming. Andy Garriola on deck for the Kettleers if we get there. The 3-2. Called. Strike 3 on the outside corner, and the inning is over. A pair of punch-outs from the Louisville lefty ends the inning, and the Harbor Hawks are coming up to bat, looking to cut away at this deficit. Back on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network in just a moment. Back here for the bottom of the third inning. We'll get underway in just a moment. Austin DeCouta with Lincoln Revill next to me in the booth as always. Before we get started, a word from Curry College. Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs including new majors in sport and recreation management, graphic design, marketing, and computer science online at www.curry.edu. Dylan Post, the catcher, getting ready to lead us off here in the bottom of the third. Harborhawks chasing 4. The hits are even at 1 apiece. And no, that's not an error on the score bug. It's 4-0, although 1 hit apiece. And Lincoln, the walks have been the story of the game.
Yeah, as we found out just before this half inning, actually, we've already outdone ourselves from last night. We only allowed 5 walks on balls last night. We already have 6 tonight. And so just not the start that we would have wanted here from these early innings.
Not the ideal night for Hyannis in the field, or pitching-wise, but at the plate we're doing okay. As Post hits that one well to right center field, back on it is Schreck. He'll make the catch on the warning track for out number 1. So that ball carried a bit to right center, but unfortunately for Post, did not carry enough.
Yeah, that was just a few feet from being really dangerous there for Post. As you said, Austin, that brought Schreck onto the warning track just a couple of feet from that right center field fence. And just a great hit there. At first, I thought it was going to go out, but it ended up dropping just a little bit short.
In steps Ryan Romano, getting the start at second base today, his 3rd start on the season as he takes a called strike. Romano comes into the ball game at 2 for 5 on the year with a pair of RBI. His brother currently playing in the FCBL with the Pittsfield Suns. The 0-1. Swing and a miss by Romano. He's behind in the count, 0-2. The count is 0-2. Called strike 3. Romano goes down on 3 pitches for out number 2.
Yeah, not the opening at bat that you would want if you were Romano, as he's been pretty active at the plate so far this season in just the few games that he's played, and down to 0 for 1 on the night. Still very early, but not the start that you would have wanted if you were Romano.
That'll move us back to the top of the order, and Caden Rose, the Alabama outfielder / shortstop, comes in. Talking with Rose before the game, he came into Alabama as a shortstop, played some outfield for them this season, and now has been full-time in the outfield for the Harborhawks. He does take ground balls at short before the games, and depending on how things go with the MLB draft for the current players on Alabama, Rose will shift back to the infield in the fall as he pops up the 1-0 pitch to short. Under it is Brown to end the inning. The Harborhawks go down in order, still chasing 4. Back here for the top of the 4th inning. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill in the booth as the Kettleers look to add on to their 4-0 lead. The hits in the game are even, Lincoln, but the runs are not.
Yeah, pitching proving itself to be a struggle once again as we've allowed a few too many batters on base by way of walks. And now we have quite a hole to dig ourselves out of once again.
Andy Garriola digs in for the second time. It was John Rhodes scheduled to be in that spot tonight. He was on the lineup card before the ball game, but Garriola slid in at some point. So he gets the start and his second at-bat of the night. And the count is even to Garriola at 1-1. He went down swinging in the first inning as Evan Webster back on for his third inning of work here. 1 2/3 scoreless for Webster so far. He's retired the first 5 batters he's faced.
Did allow a run, but it was attributed to Baker.
The 2-1.
Ooh,
Tries to shoot the outside corner, maybe missed a little low.
a little bit low. Yeah, very beautiful, very
But
good
looked
pitch
good.
there.
Looked
It
good
did.
from here.
Looked very good.
The 3-1. Popped up. Post flips the mask. He'll give it a look. It's coming over the netting and out of play. Count will be full now at 3-2.
Well, don't put it in now. It's not going to work. Gus said we're heading to the fourth, so that's just going to look
Still gonna be the bottom of the fourth.
Don't worry about it.
No, we gotta use it, Taylor. Come on.
Okay, we'll make it sense.
I'll just end it early.
The 3-2. Can't connect, and the leadoff man is down swinging for out number 1.
Off to another good start. The third inning started off with a strikeout swinging. This inning also starting off with a strikeout.
Thanks, guys. Game
We'll
3
see
of
if
the 16th.
So I guess we missed Taylor's because she wanted to do it.
we can get another put out here.
Brown up now with 1 away in the inning. First pitch is swung on and fouled straight back off the netting.
Sun's starting to retreat here tonight as
Grounded to third just past the diving glove of Mann, and that's going to be a base hit for Brown. Second time he reaches base safely in this ball game.
yeah, I gotta love the effort from Brown on that play. I thought we were about to have another one for the highlight reel on that ball as he dove, gave up his body for that ground ball, but he just couldn't get to it as his glove got there just a bit too late.
Time is called as the runner from first adjusts his batting gloves.
Oh, thumbs up from the first base umpire, and we're ready to go.
Runner on first, 1 away in the inning. It's back to Cole Cummings, a leadoff man for the Kettleers, who steps in for the third time. Runner started from first, but retreats back as it's a called strike.
Yeah, a little bit of a late jump there over at first. I think if he would have tried to go to second, I think Post would have been able to at least make the play close.
The count 0-1 to Cummings. The runner goes, he's got him leaning. The throw to Greer, now the throw to second is not in time as he slides under the tag of Kyle Ball. And we saw that twice last night, Lincoln, for runners getting picked leaning, heading to second, and sliding in safely.
Yeah, and that tag over there from Ball, it was a little bit lower on the body of Brown than you would have liked, but I still think that tag beat him there. But I guess as we know, the umpire who now stands at third, a better view as he stands just a couple of feet from second base, and so I guess he saw something that we couldn't see from up here, but a very good play there from the Harbor Hawks.
The 0-1 is flown out to pretty deep right field. Hardigan started in, he goes back, makes the catch for out number 2. The long throw to third by Hardigan is on the money!
Oh!
But it pops out of Luke Mann's glove. What a throw.
Oh,
And that was Caden Rose in right field. Excuse me, not Hardigan, but either way, what a throw by Caden Rose.
My goodness. Seeing a bit of as you know, Austin, I'm a big Rangers fan, seeing a little bit of Joey Gallo out there in Rose. Gallo also with a huge arm and just holy cow, quite a cannon there from Rose.
What a throw by Caden Rose. And unfortunately, it came out of Mann's glove on the tag. But there are 2 away now in the inning, and a lefty-lefty matchup here as Webster gets ready to do battle with the Duke outfielder, R.J. Schreck. So he hits that one to first. Greer picks it up himself, steps on the bag to end the inning. The Kettleers strand one. We head to the bottom of the fourth on the Harborhawks Baseball Network. Kyle Ball getting ready to lead it off here as we get ready to begin the bottom of the fourth inning. Hyannis still chasing four. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill still in the booth with you. Lincoln a solid couple of innings out of the bullpen for Evan Webster, who's fired 2 2/3 scoreless so far.
Yeah, after a rough first inning, Webster came in during that second inning of play and just really turned this game around a little bit late, but he turned that game around, retiring most of the batters that he has faced so far.
The 0-1 to Ball misses outside, 1-1 the count. It's Ball, Mann, and Harris due up for Hyannis. The 1-1 to Kyle Ball. Called strike on the outside corner. The count moves to 1-2. As we do have action in the Harborhawk bullpen, a right-hander warming up. It'll be Nolan Crisp, the right-hander from Georgia. The 1-2. Ball chases an off-speed pitch and goes down swinging for out number one. That'll bring up Luke Mann for the second time in the ballgame with one away. He grounded back to the pitcher in inning number one. And Jake Brooks has been terrific. Building off of the solid start he had to the season, he had thrown 5 1/3 scoreless in 2 games prior to tonight's contest. That just allowed 3 hits, and now through 3 1/3 in this ballgame has allowed just 1 hit, no runs.
Yeah, as you mentioned, only 1 hit given up, and that was almost the very beginning of the game as Kyle Ball, who just went down swinging, had that double back in the first. And since then, Brooks has thrown back-to-back 3 up, 3 down innings.
And the most impressive thing, Lincoln, is now from the starts coming in the 3 1/3 tonight, a combined 8 2/3 without a walk allowed by Jake Brooks. And you know that's what the scouts are looking for in part is the control. And it's incredible so far from Brooks.
Yeah, it is. And that's what you want. That's what these scouts are looking for is a mix of speed and control, and that's exactly what Brooks is bringing to the table.
As Mann fouls it back off the hood of a van.
Fastball coming in at 89 miles an hour. I hope that van is okay. Holy cow. At least it went off the hood, and if it would have gone a little bit further up, we might have had some damage.
Looks sturdy. Looks all right.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of a dent, but, you know, nothing a good old hammer can't fix.
Man reaches out and taps the 1-2 to short. Brown throws on to first for out number 2.
Nice little routine play there from Brown. He had to move a little bit over to his left to make that play, but still a good play there from the shortstop, and 2 away now in the inning.
10 in a row set down. Since that Kyle Ball double, the Harbor Hawks have not got a base runner on Lincoln, as you mentioned, so that's 10 in a row after man grounds out. Zane Harris stepping up now, struck out in the first inning. As he lines that one to right field, that's going to get down for a fair ball. It heads to the corner, and Harris is being waved to second. The throw from Schreck in right field is not in time, and Harris slides in with a 2-out double. His second double on the season and third extra base hit.
Oh, all right, good job there from Harris. A great place for that line drive to go. Just a couple of feet from that foul line down the first base line, and that enabled him to get just enough room to get to second base, and now a runner in scoring position for Mitch Hardigan.
The third double on the year for Harris, which brings up Mitch Hardigan with 2 away, and Hardigan's due for a hit here, Lincoln. He's been seeing the ball well in batting practice. That success should translate to the game relatively soon, you would think.
Yeah, Hardigan went 0 for 3 last night with a fly out, a ground out, and he reached on a fielder's choice. And he also actually had hit into a 4-6-3 double play, so 0 for 4, that is. So he is overdue for a hit, as you mentioned.
Got the start in right field last night, back to left field tonight with Dominic Johnson in center and Caden Rose in right. The 0-1 inside, called strike. Count moves to 0-2.
Great place there from Brooks, just touching that inside corner.
Hardigan looking to put the ball in play, back 0-2 in the count. 2 away in the inning. Harris leading from second. The pitch. Lines it towards second, past second base for a base hit. Harris is being sent to the plate as it's bobbled in right field, but he was held. He stopped at third, as the bobble likely would have allowed Harris to score, but it puts runners on the corners with 2 away.
Oh, man. That was an exciting moment there for us. That would have given Harris just plenty of time to make it to home. Oh, a disappointing drop there for the Harbor Hawks.
Great hit by Hardigan. Puts runners at the corners for Mason Greer. As Greer reaches and hits that one well to left field. Back on it is Garrioli. He makes a catch to end the inning. Hyannis strands 2. We head to the 5th inning. Harbor Hawks chasing 4. Back here for the top of the 5th inning as new pitcher on the hill for Hyannis. It's the right-hander Nolan Crisp. Crisp coming from the University of Georgia, making his 3rd appearance on the season. 2 2/3 pitched so far, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 4 strikeouts for the 5'10 right-hander. He'll have to carve his way through the 3, 4, 5 hitters of Cotuit as it's Beavers, Roberts, and Rice. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill here with you in the booth. And Lincoln, Harborhawks out hitting the Kettleers, but chasing 4 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, we were almost able to cut into that lead a little bit as we had Harris that ended up reaching 3rd. And then on a bobbled play over in right coming from Shrek, chance for Harris to score, but he just held up just a little bit too late, and that kept his run from scoring. And then we ended up ending the inning just after he got to 3rd.
A couple of solid hits in the inning from Harris, who picked up his 3rd double on the season, his 4th extra base hit, as well as Mitchell Hardigan with a single. The bullpen has been solid tonight for Hyannis, 2 2/3 scoreless for Evan Webster. Nolan Crisp looking to pick up where he left off, and he gets a fastball by Beavers for strike 2.
A hefty swing there from Beavers. He was looking to take that one for a ride, but he just couldn't connect to it.
Crisp winds up and deals a 2-2. Misses outside, ball 3, 3-2 the count. Ball 4, so it's a leadoff walk to Beavers, and that puts runner on first with nobody out in the inning. That'll bring up the 4-hitter in Brett Roberts, the DH.
The first walk we've had since the 2nd inning of play. And so we had a little break in the walks for this game, but now we have another one 3 innings later.
Brett Roberts digs in. Big lead at first for Beavers. Called strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Roberts is 0 for 2 on the day, a strikeout and a flyout. The 0-1, line drive, base hit on the ground to right field. That's going to move Beavers up 90 feet to 2nd. And the first 2 men have reached base safely here in inning number 5.
Well, that was a good hit there from Roberts, being able to take that pitch out to the opposite field, and he was able to squeeze that in between first and second base just past Greer. And now the Kettleers have yet another runner in scoring position.
Ben Rice, the catcher from Dartmouth, digs in for the 3rd time in the ballgame. 0 for 1, a walk and a run scored. He's showing bunt, pulls back as stumbling back to 2nd is Beavers as Post pump faked a throw as he's getting a large secondary lead over there.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of huge leads from base runners this season. Definitely appetizing to the catchers for the Harborhawks.
1-0 the count. Post sets up on the outside corner. Crisp just misses low. 2-0 the count. As mentioned last night, Ben Rice was the 2020 FCBL MVP. Hitter of the year as he dominated all summer with the Worcester Bravehearts. In the FCBL, they have home run derbies after the 10th inning, and Rice was a regular participant in those if the game was still tied after 10. Rice hit numerous home runs. He drops a bunt out in front of home. It's a good bunt. The throw by Post to first is in time, but that moves runners up to 2nd and 3rd. Great bunt there by Ben Rice.
Yeah, it was, and it was almost far enough to where it was out of reach from Post, and then that was Crisp letting Post to get to that one, and he had to end up making the throw on his run, as that ended up getting a little closer than I think the Hawks would have liked on that one.
Luke Gold digs in. 1 for 2, a 2 RBI single back in the 1st, followed up by a ground out back to the pitcher at the time was Evan Webster. Very good crowd in attendance tonight, Lincoln. As always, when we play the Kettleers, we get a lot of maroon on the right side as the Kettleers fans come over.
Yeah, only about a 15-minute drive from Hyannis to Cotuit and vice versa, and which Seems kind of strange that it takes 15 minutes, even though Hyannis and Cotuit are in the same city.
That ball is punished by Gold. Turning back is Johnson. It's over his head. 1 run scores. Here comes Roberts, as holding up at second is Luke Gold, and he adds 2 more RBI to his season total. Now at 12 on the year. But more importantly, the Kettleers have added on to their lead to make it 6-0.
Yeah, Luke Gold with a single and a double already tonight. And as you said, he's just racking in those RBIs, especially here tonight. 2 hits for RBI. And just an electric outing here from Gold tonight.
4 RBI on the night, which brings up Nathan Martorella. The 1-0 to Martorella awaits. A couple runs home in the inning off Nolan Crisp. 6 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Cotuit. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Hyannis.
Yeah, those 6 runs on just 3 hits. Definitely not what you want to see if you're the Harbor Hawks. They've given up more runs than they have hits.
Ground ball to short. Kyle Ball fields it on a hop. The throw to first is in time for out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. Retires Nathan Martorella for the second time.
Good play there over there from Ball. Another routine ground ball, able to pick that one up and get a good throw over to Greer at first.
Andy Garriola digs in for the 3rd time in the ball game. Garriola 0 for 2 on the night with 2 strikeouts, looking to avoid going down swinging for the 3rd time. It's behind in the count 0-1. This is outside, 1-1. One to Garriola. Crisp delivers and misses outside. 2-1 the count. Lights coming on here at McKeon Park. Austin DeCouta and Lincoln Revill in the booth as the Harbor Hawks are facing a 6-run deficit. Starting to hit the ball well, but it's been a great outing on the mound for Jake Brooks as that one's popped foul out of play. Mason Greer's after it, but it's going to land just against the fence down the right field line, out of play. Count will be 1-2 when we return, as the Harbor Hawks are got a long way to go to get back into position. Greer, Romano, and Rose on that right side had a long way to go.
Yeah, Romano making quite a journey over there from the second base spot all the way over near the fence.
Two from Crisp. Cut on and miss to end the inning. So the Kettleers add 2. Harbor Hawks coming up to bat for the bottom of the 5th here on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back here for the bottom of the 5th, but before we get started, I want to take a chance to tell you about our podcast, Birds the Word. For your weekly review of everything Harbor Hawks, subscribe to the Birds the Word podcast. Host Harrison Meyers, Austin DeCouta, and Lincoln Revill break down all the action from the past week, interview players, coaches, and the people behind the scenes to bring you everything you need to know to be in the know. New episodes drop every Friday, so make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app today. Lincoln, this is the time of the ball game where I pass it over to you to take over the play-by-play duties. So, Lincoln, it is all yours from here.
Thank you very much, Austin. Again, another beautiful job, as always, on your part.
I appreciate it. I'm sure you'll have no problem following it up as usual, as you always seem to do a terrific job on the mic.
Let's hope so. Now, still on the mound for the Kettleers, Brooks, for his 5th inning of work, one of the longest outings we've seen from any team, as this first pitch is grounded over to third. A great play over there from Cummings. Play at first. Gets away from Martorella. And that's going to be Dominic Johnson reaching first to open up this bottom of the 5th inning. And we'll see if that goes down as a hit or an error. And that's going to go down as an infield hit.
Good job by Dominic Johnson putting the ball in play.
Now it's going to bring Dylan Post to the plate. Post is 0 for 1. Ended up with a fly out over to right back in the 3rd. Post and Romano, the 8 and 9 hole hitters, both 0 for 1. Romano now waiting on deck as Brooks comes set, ready with this first pitch. Pickoff move over to first, and he got him.
Yeah, he did get him. Johnson caught leaning. I think he just got stuck in the mud over there. Couldn't exactly get back to the bag, and a great pickoff move to halt some momentum.
Yeah, an interesting little spot there from Martorella, I'll say, as he was actually a little bit in front of first base, got the ball quicker than usual, and then was able to swipe the tag down just before the hand of Johnson got back to first. And now the first pitch coming into Post. Called on the outside corner. Strike one brings it down to 0-1 with one away. Post behind the plate, as we've mentioned, for the Harbor Hawks tonight. And if we had switched to the catching rotation for the Harbor Hawks, Post was actually supposed to come in during last night's game against the Kettleers, but instead Hackenberg ended up taking over the reins behind the plate again last night, and now Post decided to switch with him for this game and last night's game.
And Hackenberg had 3 hits last night, impressing at the dish.
Count goes now to 2-1. After that ball misses a little bit low and away. Post batting .500 on the season with a 3 for 6 record. As he grounds that one over towards short. Picked up by Brown. Throw to first is in time. The grab from Martorella for out number 2.
Harbor Hawks are putting the ball in play tonight, which is a good sight to see. They only have gone down on strikes 3 times in the ball game. So a welcome sight to see lots more contact in this game.
Yeah, only 3 strikeouts tonight, as you mentioned, as opposed to 13 strikeouts as a team last night. So yes, a lot more balls in play, making this Kettleer defense work. 2 away now, as Ryan Romano foul tips that one, as that's brought in by Rice.
Romano gets the start at second base tonight. We saw him at shortstop against Chatham on Saturday. He also plays third base. Very flexible defensively.
And that one misses, ball 1. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Jake Brooks continues his dominant start to Cape League baseball this season. That's now 5 1/3 coming into the ball game, scoreless, and now tonight through 4 2/3.
That 1-1 pitch fouled out of play. Well, I'm bringing the count to 1-2. Romano going to have to protect himself here. Romano at 6 foot, 175 pounds. A Florida State Seminole in the right-handed box. Ended up transferring to Florida State from St. John's River College in Palatka, Florida. As that one misses his own, brings count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Austin, you mentioned it earlier. I missed it a little earlier on in the game.
The hat shake.
The hat is coming out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs.
Let's hope it brings some luck here to the Harbor Hawks offense. They've put together some hits, 4 hits, Lincoln, for each team, so it's not the hits that are the issue.
And that 2-2 misses outside.
All right.
And it's working tonight. It didn't.
There we go.
It didn't start out well. The hat didn't start out well last night, but tonight 1 for 1 on the night.
All right. Full count, 2 outs. Big payoff pitch here from Brooks. Romano's such a patient hitter at the plate, too.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of patience from this Harbor Hawk lineup. Lots of discipline as the payoff comes in, and he lines that one towards center field. And that's going to be Beavers grabbing it on the shoulder for out number 3, and that's going to end the 5th inning. The Harbor Hawks trailing 6-0 after 5 completed innings as they can't get anything on the board. We'll be back on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back up for the 6th inning, the Harbor Hawks trailing the Cotuit Ketteleers by a score of 6-0. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta coming to you from Judy Walden Scarafile Field at McKeon Park. As we are just about ready to get underway, Eric Brown, Cole Cummings, and R.J. Schreck due up for the Kettleers. And as we're about to get started, taking a look at some scores around the league. The YD Red Sox currently leading the Harwich Mariners by a score of 6-3 in the top of the 8th. Falmouth and Chatham, no score posted yet. They were supposed to start at 7 o'clock, I believe, but still no score there. Wareham and Orleans currently tied in the top of the 2nd, and Falmouth leading Chatham by a score of 2-0 in the top of the 2nd there. Count out even at 1-1 to Brown. Brown currently at 1 for 1 on the night. Had a single in the 4th. Reached base on a walk back in the 2nd, and he reached home after that walk as well. Counter goes to 2-1.
Looking at the standings, too, Lincoln, out in the East Division, the YD Red Sox have 3 ties on the year, and they've had 2 ties in a row. So very interesting to see. A little weird to see in baseball.
Yeah, that new rule coming into effect quite early in this league. As we've seen a handful of ties so far this season. And that was an interesting play there. That bouncing ground ball going off the hand of Chris before going over to short, and that was Ball trying to make the barehanded grab, but that went off of his hand as well and allowed Brown to reach first safely to begin the 6th inning. And that's going to go down as a hit. Infield single.
Would have been an incredibly tough play for Ball to make it short, and a dangerous play for the pitcher to try to barehand it there crisp, because that can always, if you barehand that and it hits you hard enough on the hand, you could break a finger.
Yeah, and that wasn't a little dribbler. That took 1 hop, and then that was a little bit of a shot back at the mound. And I guess it got him towards the palm or the bottom of the hand. Was able to avoid his fingers. Throw over to first. And Brown getting his jersey even dirtier. It was already pretty filthy before he stepped up. As that one misses outside for 1-0 now.
Ball gets away on a throw back, but luckily Middle infield's there, and Lincoln, the Harbor Hawks pitching in the middle of the game with Evan Webster was spectacular. We had 2 2/3 scoreless. Nolan Crisp lasting allowed 2 runs, but you're looking for the bullpen to keep locking things down here as you can't allow the lead to grow any further. But the bats are starting to come around a bit, which is a good sight to see for Hyannis. No runs yet, but
Hard foul ball down the first base line, as that one was a little bit of a worm burner heading down into foul territory, and that's going to even the count out at 1 apiece.
no hits, no runs rather, but the 4 hits, Lincoln, it's good to see a few guys' bats waking up. I think next couple of games we'll start to see some runs come across, a little more than they had last week, but we did get 5 last night against Cotuit.
Yeah, one thing we've definitely noticed this season is that early on in the game it's difficult for us to get runs, but later on, as the game goes on, our bats end up coming alive. As this one hit over towards second and past a diving Romano, as Brown going to round second and be into third, and now we have runners on the corners after that no-out single from Cole Cummings. And Austin, it seems that the Kettleers not showing any signs of stopping, so to speak. As we know, Christmas in July also coming in on July 10th. But, yeah, already leading 6-0 and already runners on the corners, nobody out. And the heart of the lineup coming up. That's going to bring up R.J. Schreck as he fouls that first pitch off. That's going to head towards the crowd and land just in front of a couple of fans as one of them is able to reel that one in for a little souvenir. It's going to bring the count to 0-1.
Kettleers continue to hit the ball now in this inning with runners in the corners. Chris needs a big out here. There is action, though, in the Harbor Hawk bullpen.
Yeah, we'll have that number and name for you here in just a moment as the 0-1 ready from Crisp, and that one misses just, I guess that might have been outside. That looked like a beautiful outside pitch there. It ends up missing for ball 1. Schreck has reached a couple of times. He's also grounded out to third as this one hit over to third. Greer throwing to second for 1. Over to first is in time for a double play. An interesting little double play there, the 3-6-3 double play.
Terrific defense by Mason Greer, being able to get the throw to second off in time and in a hurry and get back to the bag. And you'll trade the run that comes home for the 2 outs in that situation. An important 2 outs.
Yeah, definitely. And so the Kettleers now leading 7-0 here in this 6th inning of play. But that was a great, honestly, the perfect spot for that double play as Greer was able to field that one, throw to second, and then get himself over to first for that second out.
And Lincoln, so many of these guys one day will be at the major league level. And one guy who used to play in this Cape Cod League, Kyle Schwarber, is off to an incredible start this month. He just hit his 16th homer of the month.
Wow.
It's June 29th, and he has 16 this month. A couple days left, but he is on an absolute tear. He used to be on the Wareham Gateman, did Schwarber, and now destroying the ball at the MLB level.
Yeah, and there's a big number of players that don't even get 16 home runs in the season. 16 in a month. That's insane.
Incredible. A couple grand slams this week. He's sure average week at the office.
3-1. Fouled towards the Kettleer dugout as that's going to bring the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now, Austin, I was actually thinking about this last night, but we've seen 7 out of the 10 teams that, I guess 6 out of the 9 really, as 7 including us. As that is a check swing, called third strike by the third base umpire. We're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. The Kettleers add another run, now leading 7-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Harborhawks at the plate for this half of the inning as the Cotuit Ketteleers currently lead them by a score of 7-0 midway through 6th. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta back in the booth for tonight's game.
Yeah, and Lincoln, we gave you an update last inning on a former gate man, Kyle Schwarber, who's off to a torrid start, and a former Harbor Hawk, Sean Manaya, has been just incredible this season for the Oakland Athletics. He's 6-4 with a 2.91 ERA, 96 strikeouts and 92 innings. So the former Harbor Hawk in 2012 is just having a phenomenal season at the big league level. One amongst a long line of former Harbor Hawks at the MLB level, of course, Jackie Bradley Jr. with the Milwaukee Brewers now. Brian Anderson, the regular starting third baseman for the Miami Marlins. Aaron Savale, a pillar of the Indians rotation. And, dozens of others mixed in.
Yeah, one person that comes to mind that I think of course, he's retired now. He's not currently in the MLB, but Hall of Fame catcher Jason Varitek.
Do you think he'll make the MLB Hall of Fame? I think Red Sox Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah, definitely
But
Red Sox.
MLB probably not.
You don't think so?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, he was a great catcher here in Boston for a number of years, but I think stats-wise he might not be able to get in at the major league level. But coaching with the Red Sox now, had a great career here with the Harbor Hawks when they were the Hyannis Mets back in the day.
Definitely interesting to see if he ever does make the Baseball Hall of Fame, but as you mentioned, definitely a Hall of Famer of some kind, as he'll most likely be in the Red Sox Hall of Fame here in the future. Meanwhile, Caden Rose now at the plate to start off the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 6th, as he has a 1-2 count. Brooks still on the mound, as Jake Brooks coming in for his 6th inning of work. Count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rose, as he is 0 for 2 on the night with a ground out and a fly out. Hit over to first in the first for that ground out, as he lofts that one over the head of Cummings for a base hit. That's going to be picked up by Rhodes out in left field, and that is a leadoff single for Caden Rhodes.
Job by Caden Rose, fighting off a tough pitch on 1-2 and reaching base. Fifth hit of the night off of Jake Brooks, a starter this is the longest we've seen a starting pitcher go into a ball game like here in Hyannis or against Hyannis or for Hyannis. We've only had guys go. Anytime we've seen a game, Lincoln, myself and you on the broadcast, this is the longest that we've seen a starting pitcher on the hill. Let's simplify it a bit.
Yeah, as we know, all of the Harbor Hawks pitchers so far, the longest they've ever gone is 3 innings. We've seen a couple of pitchers so far go 4. But this is definitely the longest span that we've seen a pitcher so far. As that first pitch coming into Kyle Ball finds his own for strike 1. Ball ended up checking his swing there. He thought about going for it, but ended up holding his bat out in time. But it was a called strike anyway.
There is action in both bullpen. Got lefties on each side of the field warming up.
That 0-1 pitch finds the outside corner, strike 2. We'll have both of those names here. As I want to say that is 36 coming in for the Harbor Hawks, or warming up, that is. As that is going to be fouled. We'll stay at 0-2. And that might be 38. There's no 36 on the roster, but if that is 38.
We'll have
38
to see. I don't see a.
If it is 38, that's going to be Marc Adamiak, but
the left-hander warming up. So
yeah, Adamiak's a righty, so it's going to be interesting.
We'll see who comes in.
We might have a mystery pitcher coming in. Very, very cool thing. 0-2 still the count. Runner on first, Caden Rose with a lead, and as you see, Martorella holding on the runner off the bag, actually, as that throw to first not in time.
So I've narrowed it down. It's either Jonas Scalero or it's not on the roster. So
It's 36, so.
Yeah, there is.
Scalero listed at 0 on our roster. So if he got 36, that would be him. But We're not sure. We'll find out shortly.
High chopper over to first. Martorella throws that to second for one. Over to first is in time. The dig from Brooks on the mound, and Jake Brooks just been doing everything for the Kettleers so far, as he's had so far 6 2/3 of great pitching and making a couple of defensive plays on his own. And so now with 2 away, as Rose and Ball both leave the field. Rose getting thrown out at second, Ball throwing out at first. And that first pitch to Luke Mann is swung on and missed for strike 1. And we just got word, the Kettleer pitcher in the bullpen, that's going to be Sean Rapp. And in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks, we just got confirmation as that is Jonas Scalaro.
Ah, there we go.
In the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks.
Thought so. It just didn't have a number next to his name on our roster. Be his second appearance on the year. We saw him Saturday in Chatham.
Well, now that we know who that is, I'm going to go ahead and fix that 0. As a Scalaro at 36. Ball fouled off, keeping the count at 0-2. Mann 0 for 2 with a pair of groundouts as he watches that one go outside. Ball 1. And Rapp was actually on the mound for game 2 against the Harbor Hawks whenever Dominic Johnson had his first and only home run of the season. Johnson with a 2-run home run.
Over the right center field wall. We saw him put a few out there in batting practice today. He has real good opposite field power.
2-2 fouled off. We'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Luke Mann's been swinging a solid bat as well for the Harbor Hawks all year. In addition to that, stellar glove over at third base.
Yeah,
great two-way player.
We've seen some great plays over at third base for Mann as he steps into the left-handed box for the 2-2, sporting a very beautiful bat, that bright red handle with the gray barrel. Nice little looking piece of lumber there. As time is called, the umpire gives it. And with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs, we're awaiting this pitch from Brooks.
There it is.
And the tiebreaker misses up high. The hat is 2 for 2 now.
There we go. On the money tonight.
It is. As we are ready for this payoff pitch now. Mann looking to keep this inning going after that double play. Cleared the bases with the payoff, and that's fouled off, keeping the count at full. Mann, 6'2", 210 pounds. University of Missouri. As a 3-2 is fouled off once again. That'll head out of play as that goes over the netting and is caught by a lucky fan. Nice catch there. Didn't even have to move. He just stood up from his chair, grabbed the ball with his glove, and then sat right back down. Effortless. Made it look easy. As that is going to bring up a mound visit. As we'll see if we end up getting a pitching change here. I don't see why they would take Brooks out of the game now.
3-2, 2 away. Just maybe let him finish the battle. But
yeah, of course.
Or they might see that Mann is really timing him up.
Yeah, with 2 away, I think I'd say let him finish the inning and then for the next inning bring in Rapp. But you let him go this long, just let him get that last out, no matter how long it takes. Everybody's retreating back to their positions. The infield clears. And Rice, the last one, back to his spot as he crosses the plate. Brooks with his 78th pitch of the night. Misses in the dirt as that's ball 4. Second base runner of the inning for the Harbor Hawks. The first walk in the first walk of the game for Brooks. And I think, as you said, Austin, that was his first walk in over 10 innings pitched.
Yeah, he didn't have a walk through the first 5 1/3, and now through 5 2/3 tonight. If my math is correct, that makes it 11 innings on the year without a walk, and he just allowed his first now. So 11 innings, 1 walk on the season.
Wow.
A terrific start to his Cape Cod League season. He leaves a runner on first for this pitching change.
And as the new pitcher is on the mound, we're going to take a little bit of a break. Harbor Hawks trailing 7-0 with 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Back here, pitching change for the Kettleers. That's going to be Sean Rapp now on the mound for the Kettleers. And before we get started here, that's Zane Harris getting ready. But before we get underway here, fans, did you miss some of the Harbor Hawk action? Make sure to check out the nightly post-game show, Hawk Talk, on the team's YouTube page for a rundown on everything you missed in that game, all in 3 minutes or less. Go to youtube.com, search Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and catch up on everything Harbor Hawk. Austin and I are going to be on that call, on that show here, after the conclusion of tonight's game.
Great episode last night. Taylor Farmer joined us, Lincoln, hosted the show. Terrific job, as always, by Taylor.
For her first time on the show, just basically did it cold and did it flawlessly, I might add. Definitely go and check that out as Zane Harris is ready to go here. Again, 2 away. Runner now on first. That's Luke Mann, who just got walked. The first walk in 11 innings pitched for Jake Brooks as his night ends after 6 2/3 innings. As Rapp brings home the first pitch. Now on down the third base line, a check swing there from Harris. Throw from Cummings is in time. That'll end the 6th inning. 1 pitch and 1/3 of an inning completed for Sean Rapp as we head to the 7th. Harbor Hawks trailing 7-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Jonah Scalaro coming up to the mound in replacement of Nolan Crisp to start this 7th inning of play. Scalaro coming from Florida State University, pitching the Cape this summer. We've seen him once before as he steps back up for his 2nd appearance of the season, sporting the number 36. We had a little bit of trouble finding out who he was before this game as he's not listed on the roster. This one lifted into right, and that's going to be picked up by Rose. 1 pitch and 1 away now for Scalaro as we have 1 away here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, Scalaro with 2 appearances on the year, 2 2/3 scoreless. No hits allowed, no runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Good start to his Cape League season.
Scalaro brings home that first pitch now to Ben Rice. That was Ben Roberts going down with that F9 to start this 7th inning. As Rice digs in 0 for 2 on the night. He's reached on a walk. Other than that, he struck out and had a ground out as he laid down a bunt back in his last at-bat in the 5th. Ball bounces over post, and so that's going to bring the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. As the sorry about that, little technical difficulties here on this broadcast of Harbor Hawk baseball. As with 2 away, that was Luke Gold taking a shot to the elbow as he's going to head on down to first with that as the first base runner for the Kettleers in this inning. And we saw, while we were down, we saw Ben Rice go down swinging for out number 2 following that Brett Roberts fly out. And so with 2 away, 1 on, that's going to bring Nathan Motorella to the plate. Motorella 0 for 2 on the night as well. Struck out looking, ended up with a ground out, and he reached on a walk. Second base, the furthest bases he's seen, as this one's ripped towards left field, and that's going to drop just foul. That was Hardigan trying to come up with that one, but he fell just a little bit too far away, as that's going to bring the count to 0-1. The Harbor Hawks, as we mentioned earlier, looking to snap a little losing streak. Their last win coming against the Kettleers, just the 2nd game of the season. Since then, in last night's game, they ended up taking a 13-5 loss. And right now we have a little bit of a hole to dig out of as we've found ourselves down 7-0 here in the top of the 7th. Here's the 1-1 from Scalaro. Breaking ball, 79 miles an hour. That's going to miss outside and low. Count now at 2 balls and 1 strike. And this one's going to be lifted towards center field. That's going to be Johnson ranging back, and that's going to get past him. And that's going to be extra bases, as that's going to be Gold rounding third, heading for home. And the Kettleers extend their lead now to 8-0 on that double for Nathan Motorella. And Austin, the runs just don't seem to stop for the Kettleers, as they mounted 13 in last night's game, and they've already had 8 so far tonight.
Yeah, their offense has come alive this week, and everybody in the lineup hits. Lincoln, it's not just 1 or 2 guys. Gold with 4 RBI tonight, and then you just saw Martorella getting an RBI double. Just a busy night at the dish.
Yeah, and after last night's outing and tonight's starting lineup for the Kettleers, 8 of the 9 hitters had at least 1 hit in last night's game, and they just keep on bringing them as they've had 7 hits so far tonight. One 1-0 now the count. This pitch coming into Andy Garriola, as that's going to bring the count now to 2 balls and no strikes. Garriola with the hat trick, looking to avoid the golden sombrero. He has 3 strikeouts on the night, looking to avoid that 4th. Scalaro, the southpaw, coming set. Runner at second. The pitch. A beautiful breaking ball at 80 miles an hour as that one drops into the heart of the zone. Brings the count to 2-1. That breaking ball, actually one of the nastiest that I think we've seen tonight, is that one started about shoulder high and outside coming into Garriola, and then it ended up dropping in about belt high.
Doubles down on it. Nice breaking ball working.
Now 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away. The pitch from Scalaro goes for the breaking ball for a 3rd time. Stopped there by Post. And first base umpire says no, he did not go. That'll bring the count to full 3-2. Scalaro looking to get out of this inning. He has 1 strikeout so far on the night. Awaiting the payoff. Here he comes. Ball lofted over towards left. It's going to be Hardigan settling under it for out number 3. And Garriola avoids the sombrero, but he's 0 for 4 now. 3 Ks and a fly out. As we're going to head now to the bottom half of the 7th. Kettleers now leading 8-0 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Back at Judy Walden Scarafile Field at McCann Park for the bottom half of the 7th inning. We just finished up the 7th inning stretch as the Cotuit Ketteleers are leading the Hyannis Harbor Hawks by a score of 8-0 here. As this first pitch to Mitch Hardigan lofted towards the foul pole, and that is going to be foul down the right field line, just a little bit over to the right of Greek's pole, as that is a long first strike for Mitch Hardigan.
Had some good distance to it. Might have been a little bit short of the fence if it was fair, but definitely on the off-speed pitch on the first pitch. Hardigan starting to put some better swings together at the plate.
And that long strike, starting us off, was only the second pitch of this outing for Sean Rapp, as he had 1 pitch to end the 6th inning, and that was a ground out from Zane Harris over to third. I don't think Harris meant to hit that ball, as he had a check swing. The second time we've seen a check swing that connected with the ball, as Hardigan goes down swinging after a long first strike. That could have been a home run if it had been A little bit further and a little bit more to the left, and now with one away, that's going to bring Mason Greer back to the plate.
Lincoln taking a look at scores from around the league. The YD Red Sox lead the Harwich Mariners 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th. We're here in Hyannis as Cotuit leads us 6-0, or now 8-0. Falmouth Chatham, no score reporting it on the Cape Cod Baseball League website. Wareham Orleans still scoreless, and Falmouth leading Chatham 2-0. It's all on the CCBL website.
It's very interesting that we still haven't seen any score update from Falmouth and Chatham. And we'll see if we can find that score on Twitter. Possibly they just haven't updated it on the website. Looking to.
It looks like. Yeah, we're a little behind on our game here. It still says bottom 5.
Ah.
So we'll check, see if we can get you a score update on that game as well.
The 1-1 to Greer swung on and missed, bringing the count to 1-2. And this coming from, here we go. Coming from the Chatham Anglers Twitter account as of 36 seconds ago, the Falmouth Commodores leading the Anglers by a score of 3-0.
All right, there we go.
And that was in the bottom of the 4th. Again, the Chatham-Falmouth game, 7 o'clock start, the latest start of the night here in the Cape. As that one from Hartigan, or that's actually Greer, he went down with that little ground out, that 2-3 put out. As Dominic Johnson is now going to dig in. Johnson got a single back in the 5th, 1 for 2 on the night. He also got picked off at first, as we saw just how lethal that pickoff move was from Brooks. And also the interesting little placement there from Martorella, as he actually, when he holds on a runner, stands a little bit in between first base and the pitcher's mound. Get the ball there in less time and also put the tag on earlier. The 1-0 swung on and missed. It's going to bring the count now to 1-1.
Harbor Hawks in action tonight against the Kettleers, and in action tomorrow night against the Falmouth Commodores once again. We'll be heading to Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth with a 6 p.m. first pitch on the road, and we'll have the audio radio broadcast of that. No video tomorrow night, as we will be on the road. First time we traveled to Falmouth this year, but of course not the first time we've seen the Commodores.
Yeah, we've seen the Commodores twice before. We've 0-2 against Falmouth so far this season. The 2-1 misses outside from Rapp. That is. It's going to bring the count now to 3 balls and 1 strike to Johnson. Johnson now at 4 for 24 on the season, as he's looking at this 3-1 pitch coming in. Lofts that one foul, as that's going to head out of play into the extremely thick brush that surrounds the outer part of McKeon Park. Three and two still the count as Rapp comes set. Nobody on, 2 away. The payoff. Ripped down the third base line and fouled as that heads to the Harbor Hawk dugout, Harbor Hawk bullpen, that is.
Yeah, an off-speed pitch that just hung a little bit near the belt, and Johnson was just early on it, all over it. Stays alive for another pitch here in the at-bat, but that was, if you waited on that another second, that was dangerous.
Yeah, that could have been extra bases there for Johnson. He's already got a single on the night. Looking for his 2nd time on base here tonight. The payoff once again from Rapp. Too far inside, that's ball 4. And Johnson, one of the players that we've seen with a lot of discipline at the plate, as he's just been known to really produce some battles at the plate this season.
Yeah, Johnson's a very talented hitter heading to Kansas State for this upcoming season, and a guy who we've seen with the home run Lincoln, a few hits along the way, and his bat and eye at the plate starting to pick up, and he'll be an integral part of this lineup for the next few weeks.
Now Dylan Post coming up to the plate. Post, as we've mentioned, part of a 3-catcher rotation between himself and then it's Pendleton and Hackenberg. Also in the rotation, as this one stopped by Rice, kept in front of him as no runner advances.
Johnson singled back in the 5th, but was picked off at first.
Definitely don't want to do that again, as count now at 1-0. Post in the left-handed box. Lefty on lefty here as Rapp high and tight fastball, or that breaking ball actually. A little bit of a hanging breaking ball as that brings count now to 2-0.
Post has been solid behind the plate all night. Looking to get a hit on the board as well.
Yeah, he's let a couple get past him earlier on in the game, but other than that, he's been very solid behind the plate tonight. Wind still blowing strongly out towards right field as you see the Stars and Stripes proudly waving out to the left of the scoreboard. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Pitch comes in, finds the outside part of the zone. It's going to bring the count 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 away.
Good velocity out of the bullpen, and I think the fastest pitch in the league this summer was Reggie Crawford, the 2-way player from UConn on the Bourne Braves. He had 101 the other night at Lowell Park in Cotuit. A 2-way star for the Bourne Braves, and another 2-way star in the MLB level, Shohei Ohtani, has been off to a torrid start this season. 27 homers as he just homered earlier in the game against the Yankees. Yankees leading the Angels 5-3. And Crawford, a guy who has a lot of Shohei Ohtani in him, bats on the left side, and an absolutely live arm on the mound.
Yeah, Ohtani definitely making a name for himself for the AL MVP.
He's got my vote. Absolutely. If you can pitch and rack up, around 60 strikeouts and 60 innings, have an ERA under 3, all while hitting 20-plus home runs, almost leading the league or up in the league, leading the league now at 27. I mean, he's got the MVP vote for me all the way. Even if he could hit 5 more homers the rest of the year, finish with 32. He's got my vote.
That one lofted towards center field. That's going to be a slight diving grab there from Beavers, and he makes the grab for out number 3, and that's going to end the 7th. A magnificent play from the center fielder for the Kettleers as we now head to the 7th. Harborhawks go down, no runs, no hits, and 1 left stranded. And before we go to break, we're actually going to toss it on down to our sideline reporter, Taylor. Taylor, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Game 3 of this 6-game matchup with Cotuit, tied at 1 apiece. I talked with some Harborhawk players prior to the game who said they're ready to settle in and do their job in order to find some success. And in that pregame interview with Cooper McKeon, said that they would just take tonight 1 pitch at a time. I think it's important that the Harborhawks do that tonight in order to find some late success. Austin and Lincoln, back to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Great job as always tonight. And after that, we're going to take a little bit of a break here. Harborhawks trailing 8-0 after 7 on the Harborhawks Baseball Network. Back up, top of the 8th, coming to you from Judy Walden Scarefile Field at McKeon Park. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta here for just about the conclusion of tonight's game. We're in the 8th inning, last two coming up as we have a new pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. That's going to be Trey Braithwaite coming to us from the Naval Academy, as he's going to be ready for his first pitch of the night.
Third appearance on the year for Braithwaite, 3 1/3 so far, 5 hits, 2 runs. He had a save, and that was the win against Cotuit. He threw 1 1/3 scoreless to pick up the first save of the year for himself and secure the only Harbor Hawks victory on the season. So he had some success against the Kettleers. We'll see if he can replicate it.
Back at the Naval Academy this season, Braithwaite ended with a 4.44 ERA, a 4-2 record, and in 24 innings pitched, he struck out 38 and walked 20. So the walk's a little bit higher than you would like to see, 20 walks in 24 innings, but other than that, great numbers there coming in from Braithwaite. The 0-2, no doubt he did not check his swing as Brown goes down swinging for out number 1.
Great pitch there by Braithwaite, and he had a little bit of a rough outing in his second appearance of the year, which is where the runs came across on him. But as mentioned, he was great against the Kettleers and effective at the Naval Academy. Great fastball and a good mix of pitches out of the bullpen.
That one misses his own. Ball 1 to Cole Cummings. Cummings has reached base twice, scored once tonight, as he's sitting at 1 for 3 on the night with a pair of flyouts and a single. Both flyouts have been over to right field, brought in by Rose back in the 2nd and the 4th innings. The 2-0, and again on the outside, 3 balls and no strikes to count. And we've seen multiple times tonight, batters for the Kettleers especially have gone up with a 3-0 count. As the 3-0 misses 4-pitch walk, as that one missing just a hair up high apparently, as Cummings reaches with a 1-out walk. And the trouble for the pitching staff of the Harbor Hawks continue, as once again the strike zone becomes elusive for the pitching staff here tonight. So now with the runner on first, RJ Schreck watches that one go up high. Count at 1-0. Schreck also has reached base twice, scored once as he's reached on 2 walks. Ground out, 2 ground outs actually, as he hit a ground out over to first in the 4th, and then it hit into a 3-6-3 double play back in the 6th.
93 on Braithwaite's fastball, very lively out of the bullpen. That's what the Harbor Hawks need, somebody coming in, working quickly and working in the strike zone.
And that 1-2 pitch swung on, fouled off. So we're going to stay at 1-2. In the 2021 season, Braithwaite actually tied the Naval Academy baseball program record for career saves, as he recorded his 17th save on April 25th against Holy Cross, where the Navy ended up taking a 13-10 win.
He'll be the Harbor Hawks closer this season. Saved the only save opportunity to this point, but locked it down nonetheless, and looking to get some work in here, keep that arm fresh, and he's done good so far.
As now Schreck has gone down. Did he go down swinging?
That was swinging.
I suppose swinging. All right, I was looking at my notes here, so I missed that last strike. But now with Dylan Beavers, he faces an 0-1 count as well. Braithwaite looking for the 3rd out here. The runner on first, looking to leave that person stranded. That is Cummings over on first after he reached on a walk. 0-2 now the count. Hefty swing there from Beavers, but he couldn't connect.
Big pitch here for Braithwaite. Pair of punch-outs in the inning, looking to triple up and keep these Kettleers at bay.
The 0-2 misses a bit down low. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Creeping up on 2.5 hours here for game time. It is now 8:20 here on the Cape as the 1-2 comes in. That's fouled straight back. As that hits off the netting just in front of the press box. And that could have been dangerous if that netting wasn't here, as that was almost heading straight for us.
I reacted a little late, too, so I think that would not have been good. I don't think we'll get a ball in here the way the netting's angled.
No, definitely not. It'd be almost impossible as the 1-2 finds the zone for strike 3. Beavers goes down looking as we head now to the bottom of the 8th. Harbor Hawks behind 8-0 on the Harbor Hawk Baseball Network. Back here, bottom half of the 8th, Harbor Hawks. Back at the plate as Ryan Romano is going to start us off, followed by Caden Rose and Kyle Ball. As Sean Rapp steps back up on the mound.
Be good to get a couple runs across here.
Yeah, we've seen in the past couple of games, we've seen a couple of late rallies from the Harbor Hawks. Neither of them have been enough, as we're still on a little bit of a losing streak here, looking to break that here pretty soon.
Yeah, 5 straight losses, not looking to avoid making it 6 if they can put together a late rally.
That one hit over towards short. That's going to be picked up by Brown. Throw from his knee is in time for out number 1. An athletic play there from Brown at short.
Romano putting the ball in play again. He hit it well his last 2 at-bats, unfortunately just right at somebody.
And that was Rapp's 23rd pitch of this outing, as he came in for that final out back in the 6th. Threw 1 pitch to get that final out, ended up throwing the whole 7th, and then he's back for what could be his 2nd full inning. As that one's lined towards the right center gap, and that's going to drop for extra bases. As that's going to be Rose rounding first, heading for second. He's going to reach second base on a stand-up double with 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th, and the Harbor Hawks attempting a little bit of a rally here in the 8th.
Great piece of hitting by Caden Rose. Gets a fastball and just drives it to the opposite field, to the right center field gap. And second hit of the night for Rose, starting to really pick up his bat in the leadoff spot, and he's got a lot of speed too. Great piece of hitting.
Now with a runner on second, Kyle Ball digs in. He has a double on him on the night himself. Back in the 1st, and then struck out back in the 4th and hit into a double play in the 6th. So a 1 for 3 night so far for Ball as he fouls that first pitch off, bringing the count to 0-1. A base hit here could break that 0 for the Hawks. As Rapp getting his sign from Rice from the stretch. He likes what he sees. Southpaw comes home. Misses that pitch a little bit outside. Brings the count now even at 1-1.
Ball's a great hitter at the dish for Stetson all season, and had that double earlier in the game. Lincoln, a very patient hitter, leads the team in walks.
Ball watches that one go by. That finds the zone. Count at 1-2. As a strikeout here, not the outcome that the Harborhawks would want, and definitely not the outcome Ball would want, as that would be the second out, which could leave that runner stranded at second. Here's the 1-2. Lofted towards center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Picked up by Beavers. That's going to be Rose being waved around third, and the Harborhawks break the shutout as Rose comes across for the first run of the game for the Harborhawks.
Great piece of hitting there by Kyle Ball. He gets a fastball on the inside part of the plate and just goes with it, takes it back up the middle, and gets himself another RBI. Second hit of the night for Ball. So him and Rose in the first two spots, with both with 2-hit nights. It's a good sign.
Ball reached home at one point last night. Hasn't reached home tonight, but he has an RBI now. He helped someone else reach the plate tonight, and that someone was Caden Rose just a few moments ago. As now Ball steals second base, that is, and there's no throw from Rice.
Yeah, he got a big lead at first. Nobody was holding him on, so easy decision there for Ball to go. Puts another runner in scoring position.
He started inching towards second base before Rapp even started his delivery. As Rapp takes a quick look before coming home with the 0-1. A hefty swing there from Mann, but he couldn't connect. 0-2 the count.
Yeah, you got an off-speed pitch. Looked like a hanging slider up in the zone, but he just was a bit in front of it.
Only one away now. Another runner in scoring position. A base hit could inch the Harborhawks closer to the Kettleers here late in the game. And the 0-2, a chopper over towards first base, and that's foul, as that heads a little bit over to the right. Luke Mann now at the plate, 0-for-2 on the night, as he has a pair of ground outs, a 1-3 and a 6-3 in the first and fourth innings. He reached in his last at-bat after drawing a walk. Ended up with a little bit of a battle as he brought it up to full count, had a couple of foul balls, and then ended up reaching on a full count ball. Now with the 0-2. Outside fastball, that's a breaking ball, actually gets him swinging as Mann down for the third time tonight and the second out of the inning. That's going to bring Zane Harris to the plate.
Harris had the double earlier in the ball game. He's been on the fastball tonight. See what he can do in this AB.
Harris coming to us from Wright State. Ended his 2021 campaign with them with a .347 batting average. Coming into tonight, he had a .250 average, as he's currently sitting at 1-for-3 on the night. Had a double in the fourth. Other than that, struck out in the first, had a ground out in the sixth. And that double, a good little line drive down that first base line, as that landed a couple of feet from the foul line. Ended up enabling him to get to second on that sliding double. As the 1-0 pitch finds the zone, brings count even 1-1 with 2 away. Now again, be sure to tune back in to the Harborhawks YouTube page tomorrow night as we head to Falmouth to battle the Commodores in the final game before we take a little break on Thursday. Thursday, the designated off day for the whole league. We have a couple, actually on Thursday, there are 2 games going on. No, there's 1 game going on this Thursday and then 2 next Thursday, and one of those games
action
next Thursday is us. Yes.
Right, we have Tuesday off next week. That would make it July 6th, the off day. The game on Thursday, July 8th next week. A little bit of a change in the schedule means the guys will have 8 games in a row at one point.
And the 1-2, Harris goes down swinging. That'll end the 8th. Harbor Hawks gain a run. That's all they can muster as we head now to the 8th. Harbor Hawks trailing 8-1 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Coming back, the last frame in tonight's game, the 9th, as we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in for the Kettleers. But first, before we announce who that is, we're going to hear a word from Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit miltoncat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. And Austin, I think that might be my first clean read of that read the whole season so far.
There you go. Good work.
So I went ahead and slowed down through the part that usually gets me fumbling.
Blake Klassen, the pinch hitter, Lincoln. He had that solo homer to lead off the game last Tuesday when Cotuit was here. A lot of pop from the left side of the dish.
Yeah, and that home run that he had the first time the Kettleers came to town, that home run he had, a no-doubter as that sailed over that right field wall. As the 0-2 misses a little bit low, brings count 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have Trey Braithwaite back on the mound as that one's hit over towards third. Man on the run with the throw, and that is in time for out number 1. And Klassen goes down to 0 for 1 after that 5-3 putout.
Braithwaite effective out of the pen. Good to see him having a solid outing. Struck out 3 in the last inning. Now getting the leadoff man here. Lincoln effective, efficient in the zone. Good fastball, good off speed. Everything working tonight for Braithwaite out of the bullpen.
Yeah, great start for him last inning, and then he came in for this inning as well. The 0-1 is fouled off from Rice, so that's going to even the count at 1 apiece. Braithwaite again, the Naval Academy midshipman, has been named to the All-Patriot League 2 times, once in 2019 as a relief pitcher. He made the All-Patriot first team and an All-Patriot second team in 2021. Also made the preseason All-Patriot League during that 2021 year as well.
94 on the fastball at the eyes. Good velocity. Just got to get it a little bit lower to try to get Rice to chase.
Yeah, as you would say, Austin, a live arm on the arm of Braithwaite tonight, as this one's lofted towards center field. That's going to be Johnson, and that's going to be off the wall as Rice is going to round, and he's going to be into second, standing up with a 1-out double.
Good piece of hitting by Rice. Gets something in the zone with 2 strikes and shortens up his swing and just takes it back where it came from, but deep. deepest part of the ballpark out there at 390, and is able to get to second. Good speed for a catcher.
And a 390 fence out to center field, quite a bit smaller than the field out in Orleans, I want to say it is, where the center field fence is 450 feet, give or take.
Good luck poking one out to center there.
Well, there has been one home run in history, in CCBL history, that has gone to center field. I actually saw this.
At Orleans?
Yeah, actually. And I read this actually last night. The only player to homer to center field at Eldridge Park, Frank Thomas.
Well, that would make sense. I mean, if it's going to be somebody, that was a, yeah, that's a shot. 450.
Yeah.
Frank Thomas is one of the most powerful hitters of all time.
2-1. This is a little bit inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to count, now to Gold.
And what's even more impressive about that is that's with a wood bat for a college kid, because that's what happens. They transition from the metal to the wood, a little bit tougher, a little less pop. But, I mean, to put one that far, I think you knew at that time he was going to be special.
And a shot down the third base line. Man, coming up with that one, quick toss over to second, not in time, as Rice able to get back safely. But, my goodness, there is a reason they call that the hot corner, isn't there?
Absolutely. Got to be alert. And Luke Mann is. He does not slip up often at that third base spot.
Yeah, just another one to add to the highlight reel there is now with 2 away, Nathan Martorella now at the plate. Missing a little bit down low to start him off. 1-0 the count. Martorella at 1 for 3 on the night. He had a double in his last at bat in the 7th. Other than that, walk in the third, strikeout, walk in the first, strikeout in the third, and a ground out in the 5th. So he's been alternating innings, at bats in the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th tonight, and then getting his last one in the 9th.
Braithwaite would love to retire him here and just shut the 9th inning down.
Hit over towards short. That's a diving grab over from Ball. Throw to first is in time.
Oh.
A magnificent play from Ball over at short to end the top of the 9th inning. And the Kettleers go down. No runs on 1 hit. No errors. And Ben Rice left stranded as he was on his way to third for that play. But we head to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Harbor Hawks. Trailing 8-1 midway through 9 on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network. Last frame of the night here tonight from Judy Walden Scarifile Field at McKeon Park. Lincoln Revill alongside Austin DeCouta for the conclusion of tonight's game. The Harbor Hawks battling the Cotuit Ketteleers and trailing Kettleers by a score of 8-1.
Couple hundred fans still left Lincoln. We had close to 1,000, if not more, to start the game. Couple hundred sticking it out.
And we've had some good crowds at every game so far.
It was
especially here at McKeon Park.
Yeah, 1,400 here last time the Harbor Hawks were home against the Commodores back on Sunday.
As that first pitch coming in to Mitch Hardigan is going to be fouled off, brings the count now to 0-1. Hardigan tonight, 1 for 3. Fly out, single, and a strikeout, all in that order. As the 0-1 is lofted towards center field, that could be trouble, and that's going to be Beavers settling under it to make the grab for out number 1. Beavers had to get on his horse just a little bit there, but turned into a pretty easy grab for him.
Yeah, Hardigan got on it, hit it relatively well, just again right at somebody, got under it a bit, long enough for it to hang up, but Hardigan making some solid contact in the game. I think you'll see the Harbor Hawks start to put it all together very soon, Lincoln. We saw a couple of relievers with solid outings tonight between Webster and Braithwaite. They combined for 4 2/3 scoreless. Just picking up the pieces in between and kind of getting those hits to string together, because we have 7 hits. Cotuit has 8. That's just the big difference in the ball game, is the walks early on and not being able to capitalize on those 7 hits.
Yeah, it seems we're at the borderline of all those pieces falling together in the puzzle for one solid team, but so far in the past few games especially, we've been struggling in different aspects of the game. As the count now to Mason Greer goes to 0-2. Greer struggling at the plate tonight, 0 for 3 with 2 groundouts and a flyout as he goes down on 3 pitches, as that's his first strikeout of the outing of the night, and that is swinging strikeout with Dominic Johnson up to the plate. And the Harbor Hawks with 2 away here, down to their final out of the night, looking for some late magic here as Johnson, currently 1 for 2 on the night, ground out, a single, and he reached on a walk in the 7th. Johnson, as we mentioned, recently announced going to Kansas State from Oklahoma State, the finance major.
Loves to play MLB The Show on PlayStation. Him, Marc Adamiak, and Angus McCloskey roommates this summer. The 3 of them have a couple solid MLB Diamond Dynasty teams. All 3 big fans of the game.
Are you a big show person? You a big fan of the show?
Big MLB Show guy.
Do you have a Diamond Dynasty team?
Of course I do. Wouldn't miss it. Look forward to the game coming out every year. A little late this year, a couple weeks later than normal. I was disappointed, but it's all right.
That 1-1 pitch, a hefty swing there from Johnson. He can't connect. 1-2 now the count. Looking to keep the game going as the Kettleer crowd starting to get a little bit loud here. 1-2, 2 away. As Rapp brings it home, misses on the outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. And Austin, 2 for 2 so
Here
far.
we go.
2 for 2 so far.
Break out the hat.
Going for the perfect night. Here we go.
Let's go.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Nobody on.
Shake the hat.
The hat is shaken side to side. Our producer, Matthew Lawrence Noah, shaking some headphones while we're at it. The 2-2. Lofted,
Right.
and that's going to be foul, as we're going to stay at 2-2. So the hat keeps on shaking.
The home plate umpire showing off the cannon. Firing the ball back to Rapp on the hill.
You know, I am kind of disappointed we didn't have good old Sparky
No Sparky
back in
Burns
the-
over at first base
on the field
umpiring
tonight. Yeah.
I'll have to see him again.
2-2 once again. The tiebreaker. Called strike 3 on the inside. Johnson not agreeing with that pitch, but that will end the game. Harbor Hawks go down on another tough one, losing 8-1 against the Cotuit Ketteleers, and the Kettleers now take a 2-1 game lead in the 2021 Patriot Cup.
Yeah, but 7 hits on the night for Hyannis and only 1 shy of Cotuit's total, so you have to be a little bit happy about the hit total, Lincoln. I think things are trending in the right direction. The score might not show it tonight, 8-1, but the bats are starting to pick up.
Yeah, definitely. Like we mentioned earlier, a couple pieces still need to fall into place there for the one big puzzle. But until then, the struggles through the past few games have continued for the Harbor Hawks. That'll do it for us here at Judy Walden Scarefile Field at McKeon Park. Be sure to tune in later tonight for another episode of Hawk Talk, our pregame show coming up. We're about to go down and shoot that. But for now, for all of us involved in tonight's broadcast, for our producer, Matthew Noah and Harrison Meyers, for our sideline reporter, Taylor Farmer, and my partner, Austin DeCouta, I'm Lincoln Revill saying so long, good night, and God bless.